You want hidden gems on Pluto TV? Here's 7 movies buried in the catalog that go way harder than you'd ever expect. And you can stream them free tonight, so no more endless scrolling. Every once in a while, a good movie could sneak up on you and they can challenge you, surprise you, or just remind you why sitting down to watch a movie can still feel electric. And I've done all the digging, so stick around for the last pick because that one's gonna mess with your head. Coming in first, we're gonna start quiet, but don't mistake that for safe. 2009's Like Dandelion Dust is about a boy who is torn away from his adoptive parents by alcoholic, abusive birth parents. A deeply overlooked adult drama that slipped through the cracks, full of great performances, moral questions, and zero flash. It's brutally honest about how messy doing the right thing can actually be. There's no easy villains here, just people making decisions they're gonna have to live with. Watching it will force you to pick sides, then second guess yourself almost immediately. For those who enjoy emotionally grounded films like Manchester by the Sea or Blue Valentine, Like Dandelion Dust might just hit that same nerve. Now let's pivot to a movie that sneaks its depth in with humor. 2016's Hunt for the Wilderpeople, where a national manhunt is ordered for a rebellious kid and his foster uncle who go missing in the New Zealand bush. It's a quirky comedy which makes people underestimate how emotionally rich it actually is. It pulls its inspiration from a bunch of different places but somehow stays perfectly balanced, sweet and tender, never syrupy. It's one of those rare family movies that works for everybody. It's kid friendly, but it's smart and funny enough for adults, and it's full of surprises. Give The Hunt for the Wilderpeople a shot if you like heartfelt comedies like Jojo Rabbit, where warmth and melancholy coexist. Next, let's look at a film that shouldn't work but absolutely does. 2012's Bernie. Bernie is based on a true story taking place in small-town Texas. An affable mortician strikes up a friendship with a wealthy widow, though when she starts to become controlling, he goes to great lengths to separate himself from her grasp. This one was a bit overlooked, possibly because it's hard to market a movie that's part comedy, part true crime, and part social study. But Jack Black delivers one of his most restrained and fascinating performances, maybe his best work in my opinion. The film quietly toys with your sympathy. You'll find yourself laughing and then feeling uneasy about why you're laughing. For fans of offbeat true stories like Fargo, for example, Bernie is right in your wheelhouse. And now, the vibe shift. This one might make you feel sick. In Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, a man arriving in Chicago moves in with an ex-con acquaintance, Otis, and starts schooling him in the ways of the serial killer. Super controversial on release and way too raw for mainstream audiences, it earned bans and delays instead of box office love. A disturbingly relentless portrait of evil, it's a blunt and unsettling attempt to understand a very modern kind of horror. Make no mistake, it's a thoughtful film. It's not just violence for the sake of violence, but there is this camcorder element to the movie that forces some really uncomfortable screen violence, and there's one scene in particular that's infamous for being super disturbing, so just know you've been warned. Not for casual viewers, but if you appreciate confrontational cinema like Funny Games or The Vanishing, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is about as confrontational as it gets. If you're still here, you're in deep, and we're keeping the intensity up with 2010's The Man from Nowhere. A quiet pawn shop owner with a violent past is pushed into action when the young girl he cares about is kidnapped. Overshadowed internationally by flashier Korean hits, this one is just as good as anything out there. The action is precise, brutal, and emotionally grounded. Every punch feels personal. It's not exactly the most original film, but it's a gripping, well-directed thriller with solid central performances. If you like John Wick but wish it had more emotional weight, look to The Man from Nowhere. This next one's gonna mess with your head. Let's talk about 2009's Triangle. In Triangle, 5 friends set sail and their yacht is overturned by a strange and sudden storm. A mysterious ship arrives to rescue them, and what happens next cannot be explained. It's now a cult favorite that did eventually find its audience, however, it's still under-discussed outside of genre circles. Triangle is a movie that rewards attention, with every rewatch revealing something new. This movie actively dares you to keep up. You're piecing things together in real time and questioning what you think you understand. Fans of films like Coherence or Vivarium, Triangle is for you. And here it is, the last and my favorite pick on this list, 2015's Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk takes place in the Old West, where a small-town sheriff and his ragtag posse set out to rescue several townspeople from a brutal, cave-dwelling Indian tribe. This one's a Western until it absolutely isn't, and that genre whiplash is awesome. The pacing is just perfect. Patient, grounded, and then shockingly ferocious when it finally unleashes itself. With beautiful visuals, a smart script, and well acted, it's just an ultra-violent horror western thrill ride. If you like films that blend genres and aren't afraid to go there in terms of violence, Bone Tomahawk is essential viewing. And there you have it, 7 underrated Pluto TV gems that you can stream right now. And don't forget, you can always check the top pinned comment for up-to-date streaming info. If you love movies like I do, hit subscribe and join the MovieSnacks community for more future picks. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time.